Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. This is not your first time. Thank you for coming back. So, I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard is the most amazing thing is about to happen for you. Ooh, ooh, not to you, but for you, right? Right. I'm just saying, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Okay. That makes me super happy. Makes me super de duper happy. Happy. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull some cards. That's the weirdest feeling ever. Okay. All right. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Okay. So I'm debating. This card flipped out. Should I save it for us? Part of me doesn't want to. I knew it. I knew it. That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Anywho. All right. We're almost done. We are almost done. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening to my international peoples. My international peoples. Okay, let's get started. We're going to do it in this order. Okay. I feel like there's one more deck that I need to pull from. I also feel like we're just going to leave that alone. Let's get started. Okay, winter. This is something pertaining to this upcoming winter. This is an event, a series of events, a circumstance, something pertaining to this winter. Hi, Norseman. Balance. You need to work now to create balance so that whatever it is that happens during winter, it's going to be something that you will willingly receive with open arms. Okay. It's going to be something that is going to be amazing for you, something that will make you smile so big and just be so happy. You still have to do your part. Just because something amazing is going to happen for you doesn't mean you're just going to coast through. You still have to do your part, okay? Foundation. Whoo. Sorry. Homeland Foundation. So this is something okay. Are y'all single? Is this a single reading? Let me hit my ribs. Is this a single person reading? Because it's like this sense of it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I immediately get this sense of someone is going to make their presence known to you by winter. Mm-hmm. They're going to make their presence known to you by winter, and it's going to be part of the foundation of whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is going to be the foundation of that. So this reading is not for Sochi or Norsemen. I'm joking. I don't know. I girl, why are you stuttering? I feel like for quite a few this is going to have like romantic undertones, right? Some romantic aspect to it. So, you're going to do with this whatever you're going to do with it. Let's just see. Let's just see. So for others of you, maybe this is someone who's like soul family. Yeah. Yeah. This might be someone who is soul family, and maybe it's going to be an amazing friendship. It's not always romantic, but I will say that my knee jerk feel was like, ooh, someone's going to have some romance. I don't know. I don't know. Manifestation. So, spell, I'm wondering if you're potentially unintentionally spell casting, you know? Um, prayer is a type of spell, just so you'll know. You recite the same incantations with an expectation of some divine intervention. So, it's not much different. Um, maybe this is something that you've been praying for. Maybe this is something that one of you, or I don't know, I guess both of you in this commingling situation, um, you guys have prayed for something, but you got to make sure that whatever is being prayed for, that you are aware, that you are aware that, you know, your intention and their intention is the same thing. Because y'all, you might be praying for a BFF and they're praying for a boom chicka wow wow. That is not aligned. That is not aligned. Okay. So you got to make sure that what you're praying for um, is aligned with what they're praying for. But there's something coming forward that will allow for another more pronounced, more profound situation. Um, it is something that is very, very intense. It involves some type of soul bond. Um, soul bonds don't always have to be romantic. So, first and foremost, let's go ahead and mention that. It feels like there's some soul bond component involved in this. So this really is a person who has the capacity to be like absolutely best friends with you, right? If you're single and ready to mingle, if you're single, this would be an amazing person to start a romantic relationship with because of the factor of that elevation in friendship, in compatibility, right? So if you're single, if you're not single, stop, stop. Seriously, stop. I mean, if you're not single, then make yourself single first. Like don't don't make this a messy thing for you, right? My logic is if I'm entertaining other people's interests, if I'm behaving as though I'm single, then I need to actually full technicality be single at that point. Right? There's no point in hurting people in that way. Like if you've checked out of the relationship already, then completely check out. Just completely check out. Make it fully official. Don't play games. Don't be this thing of like, well, what if it doesn't work out with the other person? Like I need to make sure I have somewhere else to go. Like that's not fair. That's not okay. You know what I'm saying? So Just felt like I needed to put that out there. Death. This is telling me that there's something that's going to be coming to an end. So uh, I think maybe for some of you, what's coming to an end might be your perception of who you are and how you are, and how to conduct yourself, the manner in which you hold yourself, your perception of you. I think that for some of us, that's actually what's going on. It's taking a step or a few steps away from like the relationship romantic type aspect. I feel like this is really a period where from Soane all the way through till the start of winter, you're going to be going through these processes that are going to cause you to allow more of you to actually come forward. And I'm wondering if that's a very process that is going to be calling in um, whoever this individual is. For all we know, this could be someone that's a business partner. For all we know, this is someone who can simply um, help you better discover who you are and what you want in your life. Who knows? Who knows? Let's not be so quick to um, let's not be so quick to turn it strictly into like a romantic karmic twin flame type thing. Okay. Secret. So this is, ooh, I'm saying this has already started for some of you. Hmm. I can see it. This process has already started for some of you. It's like you're trying to keep things under wrap. Um, I wonder if you're hiding it from yourself, if you're trying to deny to yourself exactly what process that you're in. I think you're in a very intense process. I think the process that you're in is something that's really, really, really going to take you to this other space of being. So, healer in reverse, this is not necessarily something you need to heal from. This is this is kind of telling me that you've already done the work to heal, but you just are hiding that from yourself. You're still identifying as the wound that was inflicted maybe years ago, right? So don't lie to yourself. So we had healer in reverse, and now we have power in reverse. And it's sort of this thing of like, so you're choosing to not believe that you've done the work to heal. You're choosing to, for some of you, you're choosing to believe that that you're still not powerful, that you don't get a say, that everything is kind of just happening to you rather than for you. Um, so it's I don't know. It's almost like this feeling of denial of self, like you're denying the gravity of you. I'm wondering if that's why this person is drawn to you, and why you're supposed to have some type of interaction, because they could possibly be the only person who can get through and help you to really recognize just how profound you actually are. Um like honestly, it might be that. It really might be that, you know? Because if it's the most amazing thing that will happen for you, and it ties into further developing your sense of self-worth, I mean, It feels profound. I'm not going to lie. It feels ridiculously profound. This is someone who is a familiar to you, someone who has served as a guardian for you at some point in your existence. This is a very magical, magical, magical type of connection and circumstance. But I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure how you'll receive this. Let's see what the other cards say. So it's almost this sense of like really not willing to receive the lesson. I think maybe for some of us, we're not too keen on allowing this person to have access, allowing them in, allowing them to exert the amounts of influence over our journey that our higher selves is wanting. um like I can understand that. I can definitely understand that. But what your higher self is requesting is for you to surrender to this process, to really, really surrender to the process that you're in, because really this is nothing but a process. This is nothing but, I guess you could even go so far as to say this is a stepping stone in the process that you're in, of once again correcting your sense of self-worth. Your self-worth is kind of upside down. I think this is quite possibly someone who can see you in a way that no one else sees you. This is someone who can see down to your core and help you to understand like what you deserve, right? And for some it might even be this thing as intense as helping you to learn what you deserve by giving you the opposite of that, and giving you the opportunity through that polarized opposition, an opportunity to recognize what you don't want, right? um Intuition. I think for those that this reading is applying to, you already know who this is. You already have an idea. For some of us, we get a sense of the people who hold some special space within our heart, right? Some special space within our life, within our spiritual journey. For example, the moment I heard my husband's name, because he wasn't there when there were people that were talking about him, not in a bad way, but they were like, we have to consult with Frey. And I was like, what did you say? Like just hearing the name, I knew that's something. I don't know what I knew, but I knew, I could feel it. I could feel it. And then when I saw him in person the first time, like I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was, but there was this very intense something, right? And it's this thing of, I didn't understand the gravity of what that meant. I didn't expect us to still be to get married first off, and still be married 20 something years later, you know? I didn't look at him and know like, oh, I'm going to marry this man and we're going to be married for a very long time. That wasn't the thing that ran through my head. It was just like, who is this? Who is this? There's something, something's going on. So it's this thing of, your intuition is already guiding you. It's already giving you these hints of who this might be. Another example, several of my twin flames, like when I made their acquaintance, I definitely already knew, like, oh, it's another twin. Oh, it's another buddy, And so that's kind of the space that they've held this entire time, right? For one of my twins, I had been seeing this portion of their face for quite a few years, since I was a child, actually. And I was like, who is that? That's weird. That's weird, right? So it's really this thing of, for some of you, your higher self has been showing you things and causing you to feel things and become aware of things for quite some time already. That doesn't necessarily mean that what you're being made to feel is pertaining to something romantic with another person. Okay. I feel it's so important to put that out there. Hi, Erin. Um, I feel like it's just so important to put that out there. I'm not romantic with any of my twins. Don't allow a label to begin dictating to you exactly how that connection is supposed to be. The way a connection is supposed to be is something you learn through every event, every circumstance that you experience with that person. Okay? So that's how you figure out who someone is for you. That's how you figure out. You don't go by any like spiritual teaching. You don't Google something and use what you find in Google to be the very thing that determines who someone else is for you. Right? Good. We're on the same page of the same book. I like that. Transformation in reverse. So, part of what this is going to do is potentially trigger you in such a way that causes you to be less receptive to your own transformational process. That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to, be all chipper and skipping as you transform into someone else. Excuse me. Oh, my compression suit pushed all my okay. Anyways, so yeah, no, I ate corn a few days ago, so I'm swollen everywhere. So I have to wear a compression suit. It's okay. I realize I've come to the conclusion corn does not taste good enough for me to feel the way I feel the next day. I'll never eat corn again. Um, I think for some of you, what ends up happening is you're super eager to become someone else. You're ready. You've gone through the process. You've thought about all of these different things, and it's just a beautiful thing, right? You're ready. And for most of us, I'm part of this second group. For most of us, we feel the changes and we feel lost. We feel like we're losing ourselves. We feel like we don't know who we're becoming. We feel like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't this and I don't that. And then as you begin to change and you're aware of these changes that are occurring, not only is it hard for you to believe the changes, it also becomes a process of mourning the loss of your old sense of self. Sometimes we have to go through the process of mourning in order to allow our more authentic expression of self to come forward. It's a process. You have to be gentle with yourself as you go through it. By winter, there's going to be plenty of changes coming. Plenty of changes. If you can do this work of self realization, self actualization, then it's not going to be so difficult come winter time. You have a couple months. There's a couple months to prepare. There's a couple months for you to begin questioning why you like what you like. A lot of times we like what we like and think what we think because of other people's influence upon us. It's not really our personality or our preferences. A lot of times we're simply playing the role that people have volunteered us to play in their life or in other people's lives, right? So believe in reverse. This is a lack of belief in your ability to rise from your own ashes, to rise from the ashes of bridges that have burned. Whew. You know, may all the bridges you burn lead your way back to yourself. Some bridges need to burn. I know as Pisceans, as empaths, for many of us, we are so programmed and conditioned by society. We are so accustomed to playing this role of martyr so that people will find us tolerable, right? Because I mean, heaven forbid you be yourself. Heaven forbid you have a set of standards that will hold people accountable for their poor treatment of you. Heaven forbid. But yeah, no, burn that bridge. That's it. Burn that bridge. Too many people, you've allowed the bridge to continue to exist, and they have used that bridge to continue to return back to you, to take pieces of you, to distort more of your truth, to cause you to lose more faith in yourself. Burn that fucking bridge. Burn it. Burn that bridge down, not out of malice, not to punish, but to refuse to re enter into those same cycles once again. Like, no, I tell you right now, once you're out, you are out. You are out. My love for you will never be more than my love for myself ever again. For people who do like really messed up stuff to me, once you're out, you are out. And that is that. I will not be shamed into submission. I will not comply. Every time you try and rebuild that bridge, I will disassemble it once again and use it for the bonfire I'm going to dance naked around in the middle of the night. I'm just saying. I think a lot of the times what ends up happening is, yes, we might have enough awareness to keep specific people out of our lives, but have we developed enough discernment to understand when life brings the same type of character back around? When you burn that bridge, you burn it with all of the different emanations of that same character, that same characteristic. I'm good. I'm good. I'm so good. This is a space of me healing at this point, healing from the wounds I've inflicted upon myself. Yeah, no. There are some people who have this religious practice of basically flogging themselves. There are certain practices that were once um, rather common where those who have devoted their lives to a religious existence, they would attach kind of like a belt with barbs in it on their thigh so that they experience pain because they fixate on the worst parts of Jesus' existence, the end part that we're told about. They focus on that rather than spending their time and their energy to glorify the goodness that was lived by this man, the effects that he had on his community, the ways in which he uplifted, the ways in which he encouraged healing and community and sovereignty and grace. Like, oh my gosh, all of these different aspects of this man's life that we could focus on. And some people will focus on the most negative parts where he was scourged, he was tormented. Yeah. Yeah. I would rather focus on the beauty that existed before that moment, that very unfortunate series of events. I would rather focus on that. The ways in which his words and words alone were powerful enough to begin changing the community dynamic. That's just, is that what we do? We focus on the worst parts of our life and then we punish ourselves in accordance with that memory of the worst parts of our life. I think something has to shift, and that's one of the first things that should be shifted. That thing of feeling like you need to punish yourself. I'll admit there are still quite a few situations, instances where I find myself becoming more creative in that self punishment. Um, when I was a teen, I would punish myself by withholding food. Yes, I had an ED. Um, I would do that. Very, very horrible, horrible self talk, which was a reflection of the programs of the environment I lived in. And then as I grew older, I became rebellious to those programs. And instead of those programs, I adopted new ones that were just as self punishing. And it's like, why? And then I reached this point where, as a full grown adult, going through the process of self love and self healing, what I ended up doing was I wanted to be healthier. And so I figured, oh, I will use the gym. And it was this thing of coming to this very intense, very difficult realization that I, at some points, will use the gym to punish myself. I mean, till now, I'll have moments of clarity where it's like, girl, what are you doing? Are you working out? Or are you finding a more creative way to punish yourself? You gotta, no, no more. That's it. You gotta stop, end the workout. Right? And when I say I punish myself, I really go above and beyond. I got a notification from my workout app that I have lifted since July this year, and I haven't really worked out that much. 917,000 pounds. That's almost 1,000,000 pounds since July. And that doesn't even include the weights that I was lifting and forgot to track. So is that like me trying to be healthy? Or is that me finding other ways to punish myself? Right? Holding yourself accountable for the ways in which you continue the programs that you once upon a time thought you liberated yourself from. I mean, we can get very creative in the ways in which we punish ourselves. Do you need punishment? And this is something that I have to ask myself regularly. When you begin to have these open conversations between the self and the soul, you begin to become very, very aware of the ways in which you're continuing the same old programs that you thought you had laid to rest. She feels, she knows, but it's in reverse. You feel, but you don't know. You don't know because you don't want to know. And it's okay for you to be honest with yourself and be like, I haven't wanted to know. I've been actively ignoring. I do that sometimes. It's not the best thing to do in your journey of regaining your awareness, expanding that awareness, but it's understandable. The main thing is, and this realization comes from conversations with Michael. What is acceptable and what is understandable are two different things. Just because I can understand why I would do these things, these coping mechanisms, doesn't mean it's going to be acceptable, right? But I do have to have compassion for myself and know when I do things because I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with the emotion, with the process, with whatever it is that I'm going through. Spirals of manifestation. So it's this thing of like, you're manifesting things and you're unaware of what you're manifesting. This is a perfect opportunity for you to begin really intentionally developing an awareness of what you are manifesting, and then using that as a stepping stone to intentionally manifest things. When you don't choose what you want, you let your fear take over. It's your fear that will then begin deciding what it is you will begin manifesting. So, card number 41, bring it into form. There are things that you are bringing into form, and these things These things, I assume, come from this space of struggle and hurt that you've been experiencing for some time now. I think as you try and walk forward, walk away from those old circumstances and into a new life, a new version of you, you begin to become aware of what it is you've been manifesting from, where it is you've been manifesting from, right? After the storm in reverse. So for many of us, we think like, oh, after this event, after that event, then we'll be able to get our stuff together. No, there will always be additional events that will prevent you from reaching that desired event. There will always be something else. It'll be okay. Allow yourself to be in the process that you're in. Allow yourself the time and the space to begin the process of coming to terms with being in a process. For many of us, that's what we're trying to come to terms with, the fact that we are in a process, right? The fact that we are in a process. It's nothing but a process. You cycle in, cycle out, cycle in, cycle out. Our lives, the best analogy for the way life actually is, not this um not this artificial light and false love, fake love type of logic, right? I'm talking about the real nitty gritty of life itself, the truth, raw, exposed, and laid bare, that type of analogy. It would be the tide and the shoreline. Our day to day are the waves that crash on the shore, onto the shore, away from the shore, onto the shore, away from the shore. And that's the whole day. And then your life will experience a secondary set of cycles that involve your growth, your expansion, your ascension. So that day to day is the waves, right? Your ascension cycles are the tides. Sometimes you'll experience low tides. The water will recede, the energy will pull back, only to rush forward once again as a high tide. With these other factors, these celestial factors, creating opportunities for the increase or decrease of the intensity of the tide, dependent on the positioning of the moon, the fullness or lack thereof, that will greatly affect how intense the tide is. Depending on the seasons, the time of day, the cycles that we're in, that influences the tide. High tide, low tide, that ebb and flow. That's like the perfect analogy for the way life was designed to be lived. If you're thinking that life must be this linear trajectory with a slope that goes up, right? That flat line, that lack of living, will look like a slope if you cock your head to the side. Are you aware? Are you tricking yourself? Are you simply fooling yourself into believing that you're living because you can track a progression? I mean, really, though, you take a flat line, which in medical terms is a lack of life, lack of evidence of life, okay? And you tilt your head to the side, you can convince yourself that it's slanted. You can convince yourself that it's a slope and therefore you are achieving and therefore still alive. There's nothing that I've achieved that's given me a sense of being alive. The only thing that gives me a sense of being alive is actually truly living. Allowing myself to be a whole person, allowing myself to really be aware of what process I'm in and be present in that process. The most amazing thing is about to happen for you this winter. Don't limit yourself. Allow it to be at the gravity that it was designed to be. Allow it to completely change your life in a very beneficial way. And sometimes the most beneficial things are so beneficial that we lack the capacity to understand it for quite a few years. For quite a few years. When we're so accustomed for the only beneficial things that happen to be things that are painful, destructive, we then develop like a disdain for it, a distaste. Focus on the light, real light, not synthetic. When I say focus on the light, I'm talking about your light, not someone else's. Don't live your life in such a way that you're trying to simulate someone else's light. That's not going to help you. What's right for me is maybe not right for you. And what's right for you is maybe not what's right for me. Allow your intuition to guide you into a space of belief. In believing, you are being tasked to believe in yourself and your ability to know what you need, even if you don't realize that what you're thinking and feeling and the decisions you're making is actually an expression of your knowledge of what you need. Many times, right? Many times, I've had this thing happen where, because we travel a lot, we relocate a lot. So I have to be organized in my thoughts about what's needed. I have a very large family. Everyone has different needs. And it's this thing of there'll be times where we're going to make like a 20-hour drive all the way through 20 hours. We're not going to stop anywhere. 20 hours is the drive time. And I'm like, duct tape? What do I need duct tape for? And the times that I bring the duct tape, something will happen. We'll have to pull over on the side of the road and like, oh man, we need duct tape. And I'm like, oh, I brought duct tape. I brought some duct tape. And then we use the duct tape in whatever way I didn't realize the duct tape needed to be used for before I brought the duct tape. But because we got the duct tape, we were able to do that. We're back on our merry way. And then there's been instances where it's like, oh, I need tie wraps. For what? I don't know. But I feel like I need to bring tie wraps. And I don't bring tie wraps. And guess what? We needed those tie wraps so bad. My intuition was already telling me what I needed. But because I lacked an understanding of why, I refused to believe myself. And so now, these days, it's like, I'm going to bring this, I'm going to bring that. Oh, that too, I'll bring that. Like, shit, there's a lot of stuff. But we're never without. Whatever we need, that's what we end up having. Right when we need it. Your intuition is trying to protect you from your own lack of awareness of self. All of us are empathic to some degree. See, here's the thing. Empathy, empathic abilities, they tend to be developed after trauma has been experienced, right? It's a trauma response of sorts. And you'd be hard pressed to find someone who hasn't experienced trauma in their life at some point. This is why we choose to incarnate as souls, so we can experience the learning that erupts from an experience that has traumatized us. It does not excuse away people's willingness to be the source of trauma. No, 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 no. It does not excuse their poor treatment of you. Do not confuse your need to understand with this excuse that you're making for someone else. No, I learned so much from traumatic experiences. I've lived such a traumatized life. And no, you don't get to tell me that I'm strong because of the trauma. I should be grateful for the people who traumatized me. No, I should not. Are you kidding me right now? No, I should not be grateful for the people who traumatized me. They did not grow me. They provided the trauma that gave me the opportunity to choose my growth. I am the only one responsible for my healing. F out of here if you think I need to be grateful for the people who traumatized me. No, no. But I will be grateful for having all of these different various events and experiences that have really, really increased my understanding of myself and my life and part of my purpose. Things that have helped me to see with clarity a lot of what I need to see about myself and the people around me and who I can trust and cannot trust and the types of different personalities. And, this it's a very beautiful thing, but I'm the only one that gets credit for that. And I give secondary credit. Uh, I get primary credit and I give secondary credit to the people like all of you guys, my friends. I don't have very many friends, but the few that I do have are like family to me. They're so supportive, and not that BS type of supportive of being, yes on everything and co-signing all of my toxicity just so that they can stay around. No, my friends, my very few friends are people who'd be like, girl, I think you might be tripping. Girl, I think you might need a nap. you know, that's why they're my friends, because they have the courage to love me in the way that I need, a way that I deserve, a way that allows for them to be as truthful and as transparent as my heart requires. That's a friend. That's a friend. We have to allow ourselves to focus on the light that's inside us, because it's that light that brings our attention to the things that we need to pay attention to, free from judgment, free to love. For some of us, we've taken in other people's negative judgments of us, and it has prevented us from freeing ourselves to love ourselves. All I can say about that is, why would you ever believe someone who's incapable of even loving themselves? Like, you're listening to the advice of someone who doesn't even get their own life, but they somehow miraculously get yours? I don't think so. You're listening to the opinion of someone who hates themselves and is dissatisfied with their life. And you're using that opinion, as distorted and toxic as it is, from a very distorted and toxic person. You're using that as an injection of truth. Yeah, no, no. I don't think that's how that works. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't think that's the healthiest thing for you to do. The people that I listen to are people who have lived through the very thing that I'm struggling through. Those are the people that I listen to. Like, for example, would I go to some type of relationship expert, some type of couples therapist who has been divorced twice? And some might be like, I mean, that's only 2 divorces. Yeah, but I mean, you're failing to understand what I'm saying here. They can't even take their own advice. Knowing everything they know, they couldn't make their own marriage work. Why would I listen to them? That makes no sense to me. That makes no kind of sense to me. Why would you listen to someone who fails to take their own advice consistently? Or they can't correct the type of circumstance that they're living through, yet they want to offer you solutions for the circumstance you're living through. That makes no kind of sense. That makes no kind of sense. This is a very reason why I only talk about things that I've lived through or am currently living through, because I don't feel like my opinion is very valid if I've never experienced that, if I haven't witnessed enough to be able to form a very solid, very healthy type of perception. Then I really should not be speaking as though it's from a space of authority, a space of knowing and mastering of that type of circumstance. Be aware of who you're listening to. These things, these amazing things that are going to be happening for you, they will happen for you because you've listened to yourself, not because you've listened to someone else. See, right now, you listening to me, it honors me. It's amazing. But really, what is my message? To not listen to anyone but yourself. That's the actual message. To allow yourself to experience a level of awareness of your capacity, your capability, your sovereign power. I am not here as your teacher or guru. I am here as an equal to you, a projection, an external projection of the potentiality that lives inside you. People who don't carry the same depth of potential that I live at are not drawn to me. Please be very aware of this. If you are drawn to me, it is because you see I am an external projection of an internal potentiality that already exists within you. I can only attract to me that which is like me. There are billions of people in this world who do not understand me and probably never will, who do not understand why I communicate the way I do, what the heck I'm communicating, why do I behave the way I do. I don't care. I don't. I don't care because they're not my people. That's okay. They're still valid. They still deserve to exist, but they are not my people. They don't need to be my people. They can be someone else's people. You guys, however, you are my people, and we carry a very similar potentiality, a very similar type of sovereignty, sovereign power. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, what am I here to do? To remind you that you have the capacity to think for yourself, that you can take in someone else's words, consider them, and see how they apply to you in your life. Not blindly accept and take in as truth the words of some random person online. I'm here to encourage you to question me, to question yourself, to initiate a conversation, a symposium between the self and the soul, and allowing that conversation to be the very thing that causes you to elevate in your awareness, to expand that awareness of your own consciousness. That's a very beautiful thing. It's a very beautiful process. Legacy of light. You come from a legacy of light. And in these few months leading up to winter, you're going to be shown exactly how powerful you are through challenge. Card number 8, be the hunter, not the hunted, but it's in reverse. You're still in this space. You are still in this space of feeling like you have to give, and never allow yourself to receive. Stop it. We, myself included, we have to stop it. Stop. Stop. Just stop. Allow yourself to really become aware of where you're at within your journey. You deserve to receive as readily as you give, as deeply as you give. And it's not this thing, I want to be very clear. It is not this thing of if I give you $5, you have to give me $5. It's this thing of you really need $5 right now? Okay, let me see if I have $5. I do. Here you go. You can have the $5. You know, just remind yourself that you matter and you're loved. Take care of other people who need help, just like you needed help right now. Have an amazing rest of your day. What's your name? Oh, you don't need my name. Just have an amazing rest of your day. Know that you matter. And understanding for myself that should I need $5 one day, I will come across someone just like me who has the capacity and the willingness, as well as the ability to give me the $5 that I'm needing in that moment. Allowing myself to receive, not just from the people that I give to, but from the people that my soul guides to me. Many of you guys have given so much to me over the years, and I have struggled with that. And I still pretty much do. I still struggle with that. Many of you guys have given to me through the years, and I feel like I don't deserve that because I haven't done anything for you. I don't feel like I've done anything to deserve that type of support, that type of love. And it's this thing of it's not for me to decide or dictate to you how to receive me. It's not even for me to understand that. It's for me to accept that for whatever reason, you feel called to help when you're called to help. And I need to allow myself to receive. Because as a person who doesn't ask, unless there's an actual true, very, very true need, I need to just remind myself I exist within a community that has the intelligence and the ability to discern what is real and what is false. And you can see and decide for yourself when I do need help and when I don't. You see how that works? You see how that works? Where I am really, really just honoring and respecting your intelligence. It's not this thing anymore of me needing to protect you from me. I used to feel that. I know many, many empaths feel that like, oh, you're such a giver. I need to prevent you from giving because you're a giver. So, me in my time of need, I'm not going to let you give to me. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Sometimes this space of needing, it's not really the need that you think it is. Oftentimes, that space of needing someone and hoping that another person will help you, it really stems from this need to understand how much you matter, that people notice, that people are paying attention, that you're not invisible and discarded by society. I have this very firm belief right now that all of the stuff that the legal stuff that I am going through with my stalker in Switzerland, um, it's teaching me something. It's teaching me something. It's helping me to learn how to receive. It's helping me to be more open about the very things that I have been struggling and suffering through fairly quietly because I didn't want to disturb and disrupt um, my community. I want to be a source of peace. I want to be a source of empowerment. And I still carry within me this sense of if I share those types of things, well, then I'm robbing all of you of your peace because it's upsetting to hear these things. It's upsetting to know um, that someone is threatening to kill me, right? And then comes this realization of, so then am I really leading a community or am I being a fake leader? If all I can share with you are the good things, and really, What is the truth of that connection, right? Is that truly us bonding? Or am I still, to some degree, playing this role of I can only show you certain aspects of me because then it becomes inconvenient? Like the moment I mentioned um, that stalker, quite a few of you left the live. That's okay. That's okay. I should not allow that to affect my process, right? I shouldn't allow that to affect my process. And that's the thing, allowing yourself to really be fully present as you learn these things sometimes will bring your attention to things that are just not so savory, things that are sometimes very disturbing, to be honest. You know, it's a disturbing feeling to know that there are those who will come when there is a benefit involved, but disappear the moment the conversation becomes something real and there's difficulty, right? Or it could be this thing of maybe some people lost connection and they just had to reset. And that's how life works sometimes, where something will happen and you don't know why it happened. And you'll create a story for yourself to further perpetuate why you're bad, you're intolerable, and all these other negative things. If you want this most amazing thing to happen for you by winter, you need to begin addressing those cycles. You need to begin becoming very, very honest with yourself about where you are within your insecurities. We all have insecurities. We all have insecurities. All of us. All of us. It's okay. As long as you allow your insecurities and the rising of them to lead you to the places within yourself where the wound is festering and needs more attention, right? It's a beautiful thing. It's a very, very beautiful thing to be able to have such an open, honest conversation with you guys and being able to share the processes that work through me very, very silently. Because again, for many people, probably not you guys, but for many people, the average person, they lack the capacity to be able to um, be in the presence of something so authentic and real and so raw. It's like this thing of being conditioned as members of society to only have um, this approved storyline be witnessed by others. Like, no, not here. There's no storyline. There's simply a witnessing of me living my life and whatever details of my life I feel comfortable sharing. And that's all it is. That is all it is. I feel for me personally, there's going to be amazing things happening for me by winter. Why? Because I'm willing to allow myself to receive that at this point. I'm willing to allow myself. I'm willing to embrace the different potentialities that life will bring my way. I will address whatever fears that are triggered by that. Um, I'm willing to look deeply within myself at the various wounds that maybe have escaped my attention thus far. Really giving myself the permission to take a good, honest look at where I am. Yeah, I still feel fractured. Yes, it's still very much affected me, all of these various things that I've been dealing with. No, I don't feel broken. That's a very nuanced distinction. The fracturing is like an evidence of me growing beyond the confines of what I've decided are my limits thus far. The sense of brokenness is this desire to create pathology or disease because I'm aware of a specific process that I'm in. It's like saying, oh, that egg is broken and rotten because the chick cracked it. Well, how will the chick ever come out of the shell? It has to crack the shell in order to emerge. That's like saying, throw away the chrysalis. The caterpillar broke it, it's cracked, and it's leaking something. Yeah, it's leaking out the new life called a butterfly. The chrysalis does not stay intact. It has to break open for the butterfly to emerge. The eggshell does not stay intact. It has to break open for the baby chick to emerge. And that's a thing. You feel like life is potentially breaking you right now. And I don't think that's the case. I think for many of us, we confuse the sense of being broken down. We confuse the sense of being broken open with a feeling of being broken down, right? I switched that on accident. It's the same type of pain, but the purpose of it is completely different. Excuse me. Soul separation in reverse. There's someone that you were separated from, maybe on a soul level, maybe in real life, there was some type of separation. There was some type of separation that occurred, and that separation is being corrected. Okay. Maybe it's a separation between the self and the soul. Who knows? Evoke the Oraphim in reverse. It's this thing of being able to call your own protection. You don't necessarily have to call things outside of you right from the start. Sometimes what you need to do is call your power back to you first. So that way you can assess what you really need help with. Do not confuse the true, genuine need for help with that sense of helplessness. I switched that again. Dyslexia is kicking in hard this morning. Do not confuse your sense of helplessness with the feeling, the knowledge, the awareness of the need, the genuine need for actual help. Redirection sigil. You're not going to be redirected from this. This is something you're going to experience because it needs to be experienced first and foremost. And then secondly, it's something you'll experience so that you get a better understanding of what you're going to be living through as you're shot up in frequency. Past life return. Past there, this has to do, I'm telling you guys, this has to do with a soul connection, some past life something. Doesn't necessarily mean it has to be romantic. Okay, make sure that you are aware of that. Don't use this as an excuse to force romance. It's not always about romance. New dimensions. The whole purpose of this is to get you to accrete enough frequency that it causes you to rise and expand in your awareness. Hidden moon in reverse. So these are things that you're aware of on some level. To some degree, you are definitely aware, and it has to be something that you allow yourself to bring into your space of cognition, into your full awareness. Okay. It can't just be left as, I have this feeling. For some things, yes, you can absolutely leave it as I have this feeling. You don't have to fully understand. For this in particular, I think you definitely have to go through that process of at least trying to better and more deeply grasp the beginning stages of what you're experiencing. So it's this process of recognition that you have been existing as a duality. And because it's in reverse, that's telling me that you're being invited into a space of totality where you're retrieving all of your parts, all of your pieces. Dark interference in reverse. So there are things that will try and interfere. There are things that will try to create almost like an internal dishonesty, right? When you make up these stories to yourself as the explanation as to why someone said or did what they did without asking them, that's you making up a story. And oftentimes, for people who do that type of storytelling, we lie to ourselves. We tell ourselves all of these worst case scenario stories that really deeply hurt our own feelings. I still do this. I still do this. I tell myself, instead of asking you for the reason as to why you said something or did something, I tell myself that, you don't like me and, all of these different things. Because at my core, I'm a people pleaser, unfortunately. Yes, I am. But because of that people pleasing, I get this very distorted sense of self sometimes. When I allow it to get out of hand, it's this very um, distorted sense of self. And that distorted sense of self leads to me creating worst case scenario stories like, uh, just some random made up thing here. We were supposed to go out last night, and you texted me at the last minute that you can't go. You didn't tell me why. And I'm totally the person who's not going to ask you why. I'm just going to be like, is everything okay? And you're like, yes, everything's okay. So I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. That's what I'll do. This is totally me. I will just say, okay, I'm glad everything's okay. All right, have a good night. But for the rest of the night and probably the rest of the week, I'd be like, oh my God, they just don't like me, but they can't say it. I should have never asked them to go anywhere. And it's, oh my gosh, I make them so uncomfortable. And it was because I'm weird. I'm weird. and and they're embarrassed because I'm embarrassing to be around in public. And oh my God, they probably don't even want to be my friend. I've just pushed myself on them. Oh my God, I look so desperate. I will do that for like a week or two. And I will not call you. I will not ask you what happened. I will not try and get clarity because I'm committed to the story I just created. I'm committed to that story already. And you're not going to convince me it's something else. And what's going to happen is you're going to call me a few times and I'm not going to answer because I'm like, he's just so good of a person. They don't want me to know how weird I am. Yeah, no, totally. Totally. This is me. Why do you think I don't invite anyone anywhere? I don't invite anyone anywhere. I don't agree to go anywhere because then I'm like, if you invite me to go somewhere, I will have already convinced myself. You just feel sorry for me. You realize that I figured it out and you feel sorry for me and you know that I'm probably going to be crying about this for a while. So you're going to invite me to go somewhere cuz it's a pity invite. I don't want to go. Yeah, this is why all my friends are on the internet. This is why. This is why. This is why. And see, I've committed to this whole story. See how that goes? I was making up a story that that's never happened to me. I totally made up a story and then I committed to it without even realizing I was committing to it. Girl, you see how easy it is to get caught up in all of that negativity? I done committed to a story that didn't even exist. I literally was like, see, oh, and then someone's gonna see this, they're gonna think it's about them, and then, oh my God. Yeah, no, stop it. Stop it. Okay, we gotta stop. We gotta stop with that type of cycle. It's not healthy. It's really not healthy. If you want something good to happen for you by winter, you have to recognize when you're doing that and you have to break yourself out of it. Yeah, what I do now is continuing with that fake ass story. It was a fake story, okay? Continuing with that, I will just tell myself, you know what? They probably just had something come up, or maybe they didn't feel very well, and they just, need their privacy. They're going through something that has nothing to do with me, and they need their privacy, and that's that. And probably 9 times out of 10, when I tell myself that, the next thing you know, the person will message later on and, kind of go through with what they were dealing with for whatever situation. And they're sorry that they had to cancel or whatever it is. And it's like, had nothing to do with me. I think what's important for us to remember is we blame ourselves for far more than we're ever capable of doing. We blame ourselves far more than what we are capable of even doing. Like there's times I've blamed myself for things that have happened in other people's lives and like, is it because of me? And it's like, bitch, you weren't even there. But I'll find a way to blame myself. So that's the thing. We have to stop. We have to stop. We have to stop and we have to be cognitive of what we're creating, what type of experience. See, natural endings. See that? We have to naturally let it end. Let it die and bury it. That insecurity, that fear, that's one of the ones you need to focus on allowing to just completely go away. Right? That's not something you need to continue to cultivate. Fire cleanser in reverse. There's nothing you need to clear. These are opportunities for you to learn more about yourself and your process. Galactic assistance. Excuse me. Call the aliens. They'll help. Michael said, call who? The aliens. Galactic, celestial, same thing to me. I feel like Michaela is an alien consciousness. He is extraterrestrial. He kind of smiled off that one. Sometimes I feel like I'm bothering. They got better things to do than respond to me. Same Z's. Same Z's. Same Z's. Same Z's. Yeah. And then there's times where it's like, I'll have someone message me in some way and I'll have a full-on conversation with them in my head for days. And then I'll realize, oh my God, I never responded. They probably think I'm ignoring them. So I don't know. I don't know the way to correct these things. Like right now, I have 200 text messages. 202. Who even has my number though? I have 35,201 emails on one platform, 43,250 notifications on another. Yeah. I wonder if a lot of the things that we do is really, like a trauma response, and we're trying our best maybe to traumatize ourselves the most. Who knows? Okay, final card. This card that was sticking up. Final card, and then I have to get going. Ooh. Okay. My spam folder gets deleted, I think every week, I want to say. Card number 19. I forget the setting, but there's a setting that you could change where it deletes it after a few days. Card number 19, Sacred Union. Excuse me. Only the oneness of love and the lover is eternal. Surrender your heart into this union, for all else in this world is momentary. Stupefied with bliss, I become without thought. There's no grief in that loss. I gladly surrender my intelligence in favor of this mindlessness. It is ecstasy, rapture, The sweetness of the union so sacred overwhelms my senses. The lover and the beloved are my world. Nothing else exists except this love, this unity of divine masculine and feminine, and the fresh new universe that shall be born from their sacred conjoining. It happens even now between my body and my spirit, and in yours, and in his over there, and that woman passing by. All creation in sacred rapturous embrace. So shocking and wild, this frenzy of loving delight without limits. Let us be swept away, my beloved, in the passionate loving that renders duality into one and tips the mind into empty ecstasy. You lucky, lucky angel, you are to be blessed with sacred union. This union is of the lover and the beloved, the masculine and the feminine. That which appears to be opposite will no longer appear to be so. So, that card of duality, hold on. Remember, it was in reverse. So, it's this thing of like, coming into oneness, right? At one mint with the self, between the self and the soul, between the soul and the creative source of all things. There's a coming together that's destined and divine. You are to be swept up in a wave of such love. This oracle comes to you as a portent, a sign of that which is to come, and also as a confirmation of your spiritual journey thus far. You have been working to integrate masculine and feminine energies within. Oh, perhaps you've not used those words, but you've been attempting to find the balance between living a surrendered life and leading from the heart. And then knowing when to take the initiative to set something in motion, when to put your body, mind, and soul into getting your shoulder behind something to push. You have been working hard to surrender attachment to plans and how you think things should go. Instead, you have intended to show up for what it is, to seek out the genius of life through unconditional acceptance instead of judging and fearing, resisting what is as though it were a big mistake, perhaps caused by ignorance within. No, you do not seek to hide from love anymore. You've been learning step by step how to embrace it and allow it to embrace you. What a journey you're taking. Beautiful, lucky angel. So your confirmation is thus: you are growing, you are evolving, you are making genuine shifts in consciousness that are allowing you to change the way you are in the world, to become freer, more loving, wilder, more divine. The divine has been seducing you with love and beauty, and now, in your surrendered state, you are seducing the divine. You are calling such passionate devotion to your cause, such clever and capable assistance, such graceful intervention. The divine cannot resist your beauty, so you keep going with that sacred surrender. Keep believing in the inner healing path you're traveling with such success. Accept this confirmation and acknowledgement close to your heart and keep traveling along your path of love. Keep this knowledge in your heart. You are meeting your beloved. What could be more exciting? The sign coming to you with this oracle is that of great love bestowed by the hand of grace. What this means is there is destiny at play in matters of the heart. There is heart healing and a letting go of past obstructions, suffering, or misunderstandings. You could say, in a way, that the great cosmic matchmaker has taken up your cause. If you are already in a relationship, expect that there will be healing of that relationship in whatever way needed. You may have no sense of how it's going to play out. It may result in a deepening of commitment to your lover, but it will certainly result in a deepening of your own commitment to love. If you are open to attracting a new and significant relationship into your life, perhaps a life partner, soul friend, or other supporter of your life journey, then the divine is hearing your call and is answering. Let go of your grip. Do not hold on to a particular person, to a particular fear or fantasy. Instead, open your arms as if expecting your lover to run straight into them. For what could be more perfect than the divinely sanctioned relationship entering into your life? It will move you. It's likely through romance, but it could be through soul satisfying partnership. The soul for whom you've been waiting for your whole life, the soul who you've been waiting so your life path and heart-inspired work can continue to develop. It could be through the presence of a child, or even a coming together of your own inner masculine and feminine, so that you finally have a clear sense of the purpose in life and the means through which to take the action on it, even if that action is to surrender yet again. This oracle also comes with a particular piece of guidance for you. No matter what has been, what has succeeded, and what has appeared to fail, what has been loved and what has been lost, there's only one truth that will prevail in your life, without failure and without exception, and that is love. It's all you are truly seeking and is behind every life experience seeking you. Do not stand back from it. Do not put yourself behind or aside. Turn down your eyes and pretend you cannot be seen by the world. Be bold. Claim the love that's your divine birthright and know that sacred union is yours, destined in the heavens and blessed by the great beloved. So, wow, 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 wow. It's this thing of everything happening to bring this unification, this moment of reunification. And it can be a reunification of separate individuals, a reunification of the parts of you and your soul, so many different ways in which this can play out. Don't limit yourself by adhering to only one concept, only one definition of what the sacred union actually is. There is a union between the self and the soul that exists and has always existed. It is what's responsible for your intuition, for your knowing, for the types of experiences that you have in this life. A lot of your experiences are not necessarily about love. They're not about failures in relationships, romantic relationships. A lot of your experiences have more to do with you falling in love with yourself and your truth. And in that process of falling in love with yourself, you begin to realize how much love you deserve from other people. So I hope this reading has helped those that were needing clarity on whatever it was I talked about. I don't remember at this point. And for those who are waiting for a love connection, I think if you allow yourself to begin shifting in your space during this next like 2 months or so, maybe even 3 months, you'll begin to come to terms with the ways in which you've blocked love from entering your life. For many of us, we do this subconsciously. We subconsciously block love from entering because we feel we failed at connections. We feel this, we feel that. And our life circumstances have caused us to believe that we're not worthy of love, we're incapable of connection that has depth. And so you block people off to protect yourself. That's understandable, but it's no longer acceptable. I feel like many of us are seeking out a connection and a love that transcends the human definition of what love and romance actually is. I think you're about to get your wish, but you have to allow that wish to be received. If you keep sending that wish back, if you keep, doing return to sender, you don't want to open it, you don't want to receive it, even USPS will eventually stop forwarding it to you. They'll send it back. They'll actually send it back. And then you'll miss out on an opportunity to experience a type of divinity so profound it can heal you down to your core. Some connections have the capacity to do that. You won't know until you experience it. So don't be afraid to experience. Okay? I love you guys so much. I'll see you again tomorrow. I believe we're doing podcast. 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I believe, is the time we go. So please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone.